A while back, both my friend and I had just gotten out of convention floor, having run our D&D games. We met up afterwards, and she noticed how traumatized I looked, with that mile-wide stare in my eye. And also the fact that I was huddled into a ball in the corner, questioning my life choices. She asked what had happened, and I let her know that the game I ran was one of the worst ones I've ever run. Which led to a conversation, if that one wasn't the worst, which one was? And as we talked, I realized that I had never told the story of some of the bad games that I've played in / run on the YouTube channel. I actually tend to focus on the games that turned out okay, which might be surprising to some people. Well, I'm going to be telling a few of those stories because there's not one particular game that is the bottom of the barrel, but a collection of them. What I'm going to make is a worst games I've run series with multiple entries. Unfortunately. And each video is just going to be one story. So, this particular journey starts off when I decided to run games for this convention. A lot of the conventions that host D&D have a policy that if you agree to DM a certain number of tables for them, they will pay for your badge. For this convention, you had to run 6 tables to get free entry. So, I said that sounded pretty cool. I signed up for 6 2-hour time slots. I didn't realize at the time, but the schedule was actually pretty rushed. Of the 4-day convention, one of the days I was busy. That meant that I had 2 games on each of the 3 other days. So my plan is, I'm going to be trying to enjoy my time at a convention while also playing for 4 hours, plus setting up 1 hour each, make 6 hours, plus reading the module and taking notes. So 8 hours means it's basically like working a full day while spending time at the con. In addition, I didn't realize another problem until I was talking to one of my friends. I was discussing my schedule, showing them my portfolio of handouts and materials, and she goes, "Why didn't you just sign up for the same module? That way you only needed 1 copy." Well, I don't know. Why couldn't you have brought that up a week ago? If I were to run the same game twice, that would have saved me time, and I would have only needed 3 or 4 modules. But now, because I'm doing 6, and they're all different, I need to read all 6. Also an issue was that I'd just come off of a busy vacation, so I went on to vacation, came back, and had a day to prep for 6 games. Plus, I'm going to be at the convention doing stuff, so yeah, it's a disaster waiting to happen. The prep day I only read 4 of the 6 because I wanted to prioritize the upcoming ones. The first 5 I ran, I went, fine. I mean, they weren't bad, they're okay. I mean, it's fine. What do you want me to say? I finally get to the last one. I pull out the packet, I'm tired, it's Sunday, I'm going to be running in an hour, I'm going to be going home in 3 hours, so that's all I care about. I give it a glance. I'm actually going to be fetching some of the details in the story because I don't want to be trashing this module too hard. As I read through the adventure summary and skim through the details, it looks like they want the players to track down a mysterious gang, ask around, find the leader, fight a little bit, then talk to a guy. I said, that's cool. It's a nice little mystery. Turns out later, that wasn't the case. But I don't know that yet. The players arrive at a town square, which is supposed to be asking for information. As they enter the scene, I'm like, give me a second to just read it. And I want to just generally mine for all the important information. And then, as I read, I slowly get this sinking feeling in my chest as I start to realize, oh wait, I can't direct them to any important scenes because nothing here is important. The total module runtime is about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. The town square scene basically says, kill 45 minutes of the player's time talking to NPCs. I have nothing to give the players because they're in the wrong location and they don't know it, and it doesn't give the DM information. Like, they're supposed to come here, in the module they're supposed to come here and ask for info, but I can't give them anything because it has nothing for me to give them. And so I get confused, but I realized when it said that this scene was about the PCs gathering information, they're technically right. They're gathering information, but not the information relevant to the case. Random snippets of info. What the module expects the PCs to do is that they will go up to each of the NPCs and ask, hey, tell me about yourself. And the villager will just disgorge all these facts, talking about the boat, the house, the marriage, how the farms are doing. They're just supposed to talk at the players for 45 minutes. And this has nothing to do with their quest. Since the scene is just role-playing, I can't even do a surprise combat encounter because there are no enemies or fiends in this area to pop up. And since this is AL, I can't just start suddenly manifesting a bunch of monsters out of thin air. According to the module, the players are supposed to talk to all these NPCs, just get these random snippets of information, and then this guy just shows up, sees you talking to people, and says, "Hey, I noticed that you guys like to talk to people. Well, why don't I give you someone else to talk to?" And then he takes them to the head gang leader. So I sort of play out the town square scene. It's 20 minutes. The players are really, really trying to help me out, but I'm struggling to give them stuff to do before they go to the next location. Once we move on, I breathe a sigh of relief. I'm thinking to myself, finally, we're on track. We're talking to this head gang leader. It's the next scene. But here's the problem. As I start combing through their information, I slowly get an even deeper sinking feeling because it turns out it's the wrong gang leader. So you basically go up to this guy and ask him for info, and this dude has no idea what you're talking about. It's someone completely unrelated to what you're doing, and he's essentially just a dead end. He then talks about other information and stuff in the city that's not relevant to the players at all, and that's expected to kill another 25 minutes. As you leave the cave empty-handed, you finally get met up, the only actual plot-relevant person who just shows up once they do all that and tells them to go to this lighthouse. And the actual gang you're looking for is off somewhere else, just doing whatever nefarious things they're doing. And that's where the module ends. So we're playing for a little bit, and they're done in an hour. The players, I love them. They're trying, but I got nothing to give them. They say, "Thank you for the game." I pack up my stuff, leave, and then a short while later, I'm whining about it to my friend. After that game, I realized I really shouldn't rely on my improvisation too hard. I came to realize that thinking that I can just go into any scene and just bullshit my way out of it doesn't make for the best games. If I have enough time to plan, I can put thought into the character motivations and encounters, and the improvisation is like crack filler that kind of smooths out issues in the narrative. But I gotta have something to work with, anything, some skeleton underneath, or else it just doesn't hold together. I mean, the sad part is, with that game, even if I had read it beforehand, I would still have to run it because that's what the time slot was. And even if I had switched, someone else would have to run it. If you show up at 3 p.m. on a Sunday, that's the game you're going to get. Part of the problem is that you have DMs and the coordinators. And the coordinators are the ones that pick out the modules, but the DMs have to run them. So you can have this issue where coordinators like, I've got 12 weeks to fill, so they get a 12-part series for all the slots, but they don't know which ones are good and which ones are bad. There was another story I can remember where I got assigned this module. I read it. And 5 days later, turned it back to the coordinator like, "I can't run this thing because I can't read it." I'm going to talk in abstract details and fudge some of the info so that I'm not trashing someone else's work. Okay, so the game is a mystery. Fine, I like mysteries. There are all these characters running around, gathering clues, and trying to investigate this scenario. The problem comes in that the module is written in such a way that it does not tell the DM what is going on. It tries to put the DM in sort of the position of the player's perspective, where it's like, "Ooh, you don't know what's going on." So when the characters are lying or being deceptive, it doesn't tell the DM which statements are true and which ones aren't. Something magical or strange will happen, and it doesn't let me know what's actually going on. Because I couldn't figure out what's happening, I had no idea how to run it. Here's an example. There's a scene where the players are talking to this guy, and they ask, "Hey, how did we get these tattoos on us?" And the guy goes, "Oh, must have been that bush." Okay. The scene makes no sense. There's just this bush. Is the bush magic? Doesn't say. Did the players ever run into the bush? Doesn't say. What do the tattoos look like? Doesn't say. How did the players get the tattoos from the bush? Doesn't say. When did the players get the tattoos? If it was a while ago, why did they not think it was weird? You'd think someone would be concerned about it if they just suddenly got all these tattoos all over their body. Well, I guess they are concerned. They just asked now. Funny thing is the bush doesn't appear in the module later or before this point. The entire purpose of the tattoos, from what I can tell, the reason why the bush is there is that there's this character who's a tattoo expert, so they have to get him into the story, And then later, the tattoos just kind of go away. At least I think that's what happened. It doesn't tell me if it goes away. Like, why? I tried writing in all these scenes to make that scene make more sense. Like, maybe the villain tripped all of them, and they fell into the bush, and now they have the tattoos on them. But if that's the case, why would they need to talk to this guy to ask where they got them from? Wouldn't they be able to figure that out? And also, the villain's supposed to be hidden. Wouldn't they find that suspicious? Or, hey, what if the bad guy, collected branches and leaves from the bush and then poisoned the players? But he doesn't want them to talk to the tattoo expert, and the tattoos don't do anything. So why would he do that? I mean, I get it. It's magic. But, how am I supposed to run this when I don't even know what's going on? All of that overshadows the major problem. Why the fuck is there just this random bush that gives people random-ass magic tattoos that don't do anything? Another thing which was infuriating was that there was this entire mystery that's leading up to this mysterious guy. And there's all these clues that trace back to this guy. A guy who totally doesn't have any relevance to the plot. It turns out that all the clues were just a coincidence. You know how the villain stole the journal of this guy? That seems like it's really important. It's not. And later on, you see a pendant, and inside it's his initials. Why does it have his initials? No reason. The locket is a reference to another game that the players probably didn't play. And witnesses say that they saw his boat nearby. Who is this person? This person was just in the story because this is a follow-up to another module a year and a half ago, and they're trying to work him in, so they have no relevance to this story. That is one of the most annoying things as someone who runs AL modules is when I see pages and pages of details about something and then find out that all those details are about some other module that is not related to this one and has nothing to do with what we're doing. Anyway, I had gotten handed this module and asked to run it. I read the thing several times, and it was such a mess. I couldn't make heads or tails of it, so I ended up changing my time slot so I wouldn't be the one to run it. So, success? The players would still have to play it, but at least it wasn't me. And that's all that matters. Yay, me. After the fact, before writing the script, I'm taking notes thinking to myself, you know what? My memory's not so good, and old Ben was probably too busy. I did kind of have a habit of skipping around and skimming before, so it's probably not that bad. So I downloaded the module again and read through it several times again. I didn't misremember it. That's what's in there. After that incident, at another convention, I was given another module. I made sure to look online to see what it was rated. 1.5 out of 5 stars with 20 ratings on it. I just, okay. I saw that, and I slowly started handing it back to them, going, no, 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 no.